I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Yo, what is going on the planet? My name is Flobo, Boyce. You can bask in my glory because it's the Monday Raw after show and AfterBuzz TV, wrestling and sports. One of the biggest episodes as far as character and story development wise we've seen in a long time. So we have a big show. We're gonna get into it right now. Before I do, I gotta introduce our all-star panel. This guy interviewed Vince Russo last week. This guy is the voice of the AEW Dynamite After Show. And this guy tag teams with me on a show called Wrestling With The Questions. Give it up for Jack Farmer.
Flobo, Boyce, I didn't know you were going to be wearing a Limitless shirt today. That's so cool.
It's combined my love of both professional wrestling and snack food. Get up to Keith Lee.
You know that's a play on old Baskin Robbins. My first job was at Baskin Robbins, scooping ice cream, all 31 flavors. That's why I'm so sweet today.
Wow. Speaking of someone putting themselves over, she can be found on the Total Bellas After Show and Ron Espanol. It's coming back, y'all. Guaranteed.
It's coming back.
Forward to La Pequeña Leslie Colon. How you doing, Leslie?
Hola, ¿cómo están? I missed you guys so much. I miss seeing your faces. You guys are the best. I am so lucky to be here with both of you. You know, I'm just blessed. Hashtag blessed.
Sweet and blessed is my team tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine. It's boring. Monday Night Raw, 3 weeks away from Backlash, which is still odd for me because it comes after Money in the Bank this year. Leslie, I'm gonna start with you because you are our guest on the show this week. Thoughts about the show overall?
Overall, I was a little bit worried because last week it was such a great week for Raw. You know, a comeback and then Becky Lynch's announcement, but this week was so good. I am so happy with everything that happened tonight. I feel like all of these stories are slowly changing, so I'm really excited to see what the next couple weeks hold and what Backlash is going to be like, because some teams are breaking up and it's going to be a little bit messy in these next couple of weeks.
Messy isn't the half of it. Jack Farmer.
The past two episodes, the WWE is trying to tell us something. For the past few weeks, building up to Money in the Bank, they were holding their resources. They were playing things safe so they could get through this no crowd time period. But the past few weeks, they've been blowing all that up and giving us stories, giving us characters, making things happen. I believe that this is week 2 of the WWE saying they think that this whole thing is almost over and they're going to get that ball rolling again, and it's starting right now.
Clients would agree. It looked like the WWE has kind of figured out how to make these kinds of show work to an eventual ramp to something and somewhere. There's no news out of what plans that's going to be or how they're going to reintroduce live shows, but it does seem like they're going in a sick direction. But let's talk about this. Top, bottom first. Our main event was Drew McIntyre versus, and they made a point to say this, SmackDown's Baron Corbin, King Corbin. I get the idea, of how these cross-branded things, but there's less personnel, but it is kind of weird. This whole brand split thing is starting to kind of wobbly. Jack Farmer, walk me through this.
So I know that a year ago we complained so much about this wild card rule, and it was terrible. Things are a little different now. I think it works right now. You've got a smaller roster. You've got to make things work. You've got to bring people from other brands to put shows together because we're already getting into repeated matches. So I thought in this case, in this scenario, I loved it. I think it's great, and I think it's okay for them to do that until we get crowds back in the arena.
Yeah, Leslie, thoughts about that match first, and also you had on top of the ramp MVP and a brand new Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, I'm very interested in this. I feel kind of bad for Lana. I never thought I was going to say this because she's kind of just been kicked to the curb and he's focused on his career. But hey, props to Bobby Lashley. He's looking really good. And MVP, they make him as a manager. I don't mind it at all. I think it's really good that he's kind of moving along with him instead of Lana just screaming. So why not? But thoughts of the match, I thought it was super brutal. I mean, it's expected. It's Baron Corbin. He's the king. But I love Drew McIntyre. And I feel like this matchup has always been something that we've all been wanting to see. So it was a great match. I felt like for me, it was a little bit too short. I wanted a little bit more, but overall, great matches. It was super close. I really thought Baron Corbin was going to take it, but no, of course, the champion is going to win. So I really liked it overall.
Can I jump in real quick? I agree with Leslie. I also want to say Baron Corbin is at another level as a villain. People always say they don't like him. They say they're sick of him. But when he was on Raw, tell me you guys didn't feel that the biggest jerk in wrestling was on TV. Just seeing him interacting with all these people, with Drew, with everyone, you could tell, even when Bobby Lashley came out, we hated Bobby Lashley for months. But when Corbin was on TV, he was the guy we all wanted to see get beat up. Without a doubt, it wasn't close. Baron Corbin should be in this world title picture, and I'm really glad we're getting to see it.
World title on the Raw side or on his own division?
Either way. I would love him on Raw.
He's that good. I want a title division everywhere.
Honestly, I think he is so good. He's so underappreciated. I think he's gonna be one of those talents that after all is said and done, we're gonna look back and we're all gonna say we didn't appreciate him as much as we should have while he was here. And I want him on Raw because we cover Raw, and I want him to be on the show I cover. I also think Raw is the more stacked of the brands, so there's more for him to do. So I loved this. I think if you're going to use a wild card rule, this was a great way to do it.
True.
Yeah.
Sorry, Leslie.
I think you also have to realize that if we hate him so much, that means he's doing his job as a heel. He does such a great job. I don't think I can see him ever as a face because he's just been so good at playing the bad guy. So I have to agree with you, Jack. He's definitely one of the best right now playing that bad guy.
Jack, I want your thoughts about the Lashley situation. Here's somebody that I guess last week, maybe we're saying it's a new era. I actually was kind of sort of coming around. I was like, hey, it's not that bad. But I kind of like the fact that you have someone like Lashley that has all the tools, and you have another character inside the sphere of the show saying, brother, free Lashley. I'm compelled. I'm not sure if he's a face or heel. Looks like he's a heel though, because Lana doesn't like him either. Your thoughts about that? Because I know that you and I were the task on a couple episodes about the evolution.
Yeah. I love this. I think it is great. I love that they're teasing him as a world title competitor because it puts him in that space. And we're starting to see that he belongs there more and more. But everything we've always wanted with this, right? We've always said Bobby Lashley has all the tools, but why do I care? They've given him a story that he doesn't have to actually do anything with, but he gets the benefit of the story. The story is MVP versus Lana, but the person who we're going to want to see in the ring is Lashley. This is perfect because now we have a story we want to see unfold. I want to see what Lana does to get back at MVP. I want to see if MVP is going to actually sign Lashley. I want to see who Lashley's going to pick. I want to see this battle go on. And while it's happening, I want to see him spear Drew McIntyre. I want to see him spear Kevin Owens. I want to see him spear every single person he gets in the ring with. They are making Bobby Lashley a huge main event deal. And it may have started off rough, but I think it's working out great.
I like how Jack is cutting these like long extended promos, going the back for Corbin to Bobby Lashley. But speaking of promos, Leslie, can you do the world a favor and cut a promo how they can watch this AfterBuzz show and listen to other AfterBuzz shows?
Yes, of course. Listen, friends, I know you guys have a little bit of extra time on your hands right now. So please do us a favor, give us a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe to our show. We love to have you guys hear you guys on the live chat, always killing it on the Monday Night Raw after show. So please do us that favor. I know we're still on iTunes as well, so make sure you subscribe us there. Give us 5 stars, not 1, but 5. So make sure you tune in every week. These guys are always killing it, and we just appreciate all of your love and support.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, what she said. Moving on. Let's talk about the Asuka Raw Women's title celebration. And somehow someone gave Kairi Sane a recorder. Okay, cool. I'm all about that. Walking into this, I wasn't sure if Asuka was going to be a face or a heel. Oh, sorry, an antagonist or a protagonist. But Nia Jax made it abundantly clear she is not here to play because she's not like most girls. Nia Jax versus Asuka in the first feud, and poor Kairi Sane's collateral damage. Leslie, walk me through this because I know you're a big Asuka fan. right?
Yes, I am.
Raw Women's Champion. Nia Jax all up in the grill. What's up?
Well, you know what's up? Poor Kyrie had to take one for the team. My question is, where does she stand in this? Because Asuka's so good on her own. We've seen Kyrie develop as well with Asuka as a tag team. So I feel a little bit bad for her because she's kind of left on the side while still working with Asuka. I don't know if this is kind of like a Sasha Bailey type of team, but it doesn't really compare. It's a little different. But I really like the fact that I didn't expect Nia Jax to walk through those gates, as you can say, or to go into the ring. But I'm really liking it, especially because Nia Jax's comeback, I feel like it took a little bit for us to get excited, but now this is making me excited for this match. I want to see it because Nia isn't like most girls. She can really beat someone up, and Asuka isn't like most girls either. She can't really beat Nia Jax. So we've seen that before. So I'm excited to see this new feud and what different moves they're gonna make.
Yeah, I was actually interested two different ways. One, I think that's the first main roster promo Kyrie ever had I can think of, and two, the fact that this went in the ring and backstage, and it became like this reoccurring segment. Jack Farmer, thoughts about this? Nia Jax, I know you're not the biggest fan of Nia, but she is the number one contender de facto, if not Shayna Baszler. She may be the first few for Asuka. Thoughts about this thing that's potentially budding up?
It makes sense. I mean, like I said, Nia
Jax
isn't my.
It's fine.
I mean, look, she's not my favorite, but that doesn't mean I'm naive to the fact that she's
Prince Money.
Big. She can really hurt people. I wanted to touch base on Kairi Sane. I love Kairi Sane. She's one of my favorites. But I used to love Blockbuster, and there comes a time when you need to sell your stock.
Oh, wow. You're not comparing Kairi Sane to Blockbuster? Wow.
It doesn't even exist
I
anymore.
have a feeling.
Wow.
Listen, if this was Mad Money, this is what is going to happen.
Sell.
She is going to be the person that takes a lot of beatings on behalf of Asuka for the next few months. I think she's going to, because she's very sympathetic. So someone like Nia Jax running her over makes us all go, how dare you do that to Kairi Sane? I think that's going to be Kairi Sane's role for the next few months. If I'm buying stock, I would be selling in Kairi Sane. I love her to death, but I would be selling Kairi Sane. But I think Asuka is going to have a very long, very meaningful run with the title, possibly until Becky Lynch comes back.
You couldn't say anything else but Blockbuster. Blockbuster's a joke.
Wait. I have a question for you.
Sorry, Borders Books. What do you?
Borders. What's up?
Good. I have a question for you, since I know you love Kairi.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, I don't know, is she a contender for the women's title as well? And do you feel like she will turn on Asuka eventually?
I don't want to see Kairi turn on Asuka, but I do think if I can do the whole vision of her holding the championship, she's doing it as a heel. I would like, if I had my way, if I had the powers that be, I would like an inverse New Day, where it's like, oh, you're a heel, but you got it, but I'm still your sister or that. But if I get it, because it's a lot easier to tell that story of one turning over someone, as we'll get to that later with Austin Theory. Okay, fine, I'll accept it. But hey, more Kyrie's dope for me.
I would say this,
I know.
If I can hop in on this, I think Kairi Sane is one of the most lovable characters in all of
You don't love Blockbuster, Jack. I don't know why you.
I remember as a young boy.
I remember.
Brenton can't hardly wait. No, but she's lovable. Kairi Sane's lovable. How do you not like Kairi Sane? I think if those two were to split, I would rather it's Asuka that gets rid of her, and then she becomes the lovable underdog that goes to try to take the title from Asuka. Personally, that's just me talking.
That's just you talking. Nah, I'm just catching. I'm anxious to see how this goes, and I think that Asuka versus Nia Jax could possibly steal the show, the Clash of Styles at Backlash. Speaking of the women's division, the women's tag team championships are on the line, and I kind of missed, Josh Alonso's drop. I do the holla, 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 holla. Let's Nikki Cross holla takes on the return.
Coming to get it on.
I tried looking up the lyrics one time to read it, and I was like, "This is worse in Spanish. I don't know what the hell." I'm
pretty say Booyaka. Did I say Pueblo? Pablo?
Yeah, that's my Pueblo.
If you guys don't know, I used to teach Jack a word every week to say on the Raw After Show. We didn't get to it this week, but his top 2 words are pueblo and buyaca. Oh, and idolo. You'll get your
Idolo.
idolo.
Idolo, yes.
That's cool, man.
That's
Okay,
all
so
I got.
Mazuelo, that's him.
Our women's tag team titles are on the line. The Iconics, which are not really known for being an aggressive team, got themselves disqualified, and it was kind of an odd thing, or an odd result to see. But what happened afterwards was the slap. Jack Farmer, we were talking about this before we got on the air. Is this a slap that heard around the world, or is just a teasing of something bigger for the Iconics?
Well, the Apollo Crews slap was a slap heard around the world. I think I heard that from here. But I hope this is good. The Iconics, it's so weird. Like, you have this division, the tag team women's division, that needs teams. They've needed teams so bad. And you have this team that was already a team, that's a built team that we already love, that people want to see. I don't know why they're teasing dissension in the ranks here. Why don't you just make them a team that we can watch? It's weird to me that they play this way with a division that's already so thin. Why not just give us some teams? I don't understand it, but hopefully it leads to them coming back stronger than ever and becoming women's tag team champions again.
So Leslie, you're nodding, going, what's up?
One thing that Jack said, you can't make the Iconics a team because they're already a team. Even in NXT, they've always been together. They've always been stronger together. So I really can't visualize them split. I know Dylan was super mad on Twitter, going off, calling the Prime Minister, I forget where he's at, but he was Australia.
The Prime Minister.
Prime Minister, wherever you're from.
Wherever he's from.
Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi.
But I can't picture this happening. Like you said, Jack, there's really no team. Now you see Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, and Asuka and Kyrie. What else do you have? I do want to say, though, I really want to see Bianca with Naomi. I think they would make such a great team. So I have to agree with you. I'd rather see more teams being developed than teams being split up, because it doesn't even make sense.
If you want my opinion, Bianca's way better than somebody who can't even beat Dana Brooke 2 weeks in a row. That's hot take, but I'm not on Smack. Hey, it's not it happened. She lost twice. I saw it. I'm just calling it how I see it. Shout out to Haywood Wong in the chat that has now deemed Leslie Profesora Colon. So that's going to be your new name from now on.
Ooh, I'm a profesora.
As we teaching us Spanish words. Yeah.
Professor sounds like a perfume dinosaur.
It's not professor, it's profesora.
Profesora. Words have gender, Jack.
You say so.
Moving on, it's now time for my favorite segment. That's what Jack tells me, something that has to do with my life. Jack, hit me up with those good words.
It's the what?
The swear button.
Oh, I gotcha. We're professionals here, folks. Today, we have a sponsor, and it is none other than Smart Button. Smart Button is a button you can use when you need a crowd reaction, and don't we all in this day and age? All you got to do, you go to smartbutton.com, you go ahead, type in your credit card details, they'll send you one of these bad boys, and whenever you need the power of the crowd to give you the strength, you just hit the button. If you want to hear what it says, do yourself a favor. Visit smartbutton.com today.
We sold out. Swelling out here and there, but who didn't sell out is the curious case of Austin Theory. What happened? So here we got guys in the group. It was kind of the odd man in that group. He reestablishes his solidarity and gets kicked out. But like most downtrodden masses, a savior emerges, the Messiah himself, and rises him up. Boy, Murray's not too pleased about the whole situation. Leslie walked me through this. Austin Theory. For a second there, I thought he was getting his first class ticket back to NXT, but now
same. No, I was a little confused. Well, actually, no. I was actually a little happy. I have to give it to Selena because he didn't really fit in.
What do you mean by that, Leslie?
She is the face of the Latinos. You're gonna have 2 Latinos with you, and then you're gonna just randomly put Austin Theory there. It didn't make sense.
He could be a quarter of España. Who knows, man?
I love that accent. But I mean, it was bound to happen. They're speaking in Spanish, all of them, and he's just standing there like, what do I do? So props to him. He did upgrade. He's now with the Monday Night Messiah. Although I don't know if it's gonna go too well. I feel like in the future, if I'm seeing things right, I'm a little psychic. Just kidding. But a little bit. He's probably gonna get another beating and get kicked out. But I'm really happy that he is staying on Monday Night Raw. I feel like he is very talented. He has a lot to offer. So why not? We always need those wrestlers on Raw. So let him be with the Monday Night Messiah. He has a lot of talent.
Now, you say that you're a little bit psychic, but we also have someone who makes perfect predictions and is not wrong. Jack, Austin Theory. The guy is the wonderkind, right? No,
Yeah.
Super young, super talented. I thought that was pretty much the end of him. He's now rolling with Seth, as I can tell, but Buddy Murphy ain't really feeling it. Are we seeing already dissension in the ranks, or is Buddy Murphy understanding that the Messiah needs his flock to grow?
I think overall, the Messiah needs his flock to grow. And I think there's going to be some tension. There always is tension. That's what makes groups interesting. But I think we said it before. Austin Theory is going to be a mega star. He's going to be, I think, like a top guy in the company kind of mega star someday. He's only 22. It's not going to be tomorrow. It's not going to be next week. But I think when all is said and done, we're going to look back on this version of Austin Theory the same way we look at old prototype John Cena and say that, wow, I can't believe that guy became as big as he was. I loved this move. I agree with Leslie. Yeah, at first it was a little weird that Zelina Vega's group was kicking him out, but as it was happening, it's like, yeah, he doesn't fit. He doesn't fit in that group. They wouldn't want him hanging out. He does feel like, I don't know if I would have said he fits in Rollins' group before, but seeing that, it's like I like this group that Rollins is putting together. I like how he picks them up right after a beatdown. It feels a bit. It feels like
he's a savior.
It feels a bit like the Dark Order, what the Dark Order is doing, except this feels a little more paced and a little more natural, if I'm being honest.
You dare compare AEW to a Monday Night Raw storyline? Wrestling is different and separate. Nothing apes anything else. No, I'm agreeing with you. I do like Seth. Looks like Seth Rollins is really trying hard to get that Emmy. Hope he does, because I see it in his eyes. But let's talk about the match that preceded the breakup of Austin Theory. So the KO show returns quite randomly, because I haven't seen Kevin Owens since WrestleMania, and he won his match, but he's back, having a very broken down set. We'll get to the reason why in a bit later. And it evolves into a tag team match because Apollo Crews comes out super fast on two good knees, and after the commercial break, his knee is taped up. Fine, whatever. I'm all about it. Kevin Owens, Apollo Crews against Garza and Andrade. Okay, even though Austin Theory caused that team to lose, what about Garza and Andrade? Andrade is the United States champion. He has a challenge with Apollo next week. He may lose it. Assuming that he does, Leslie, do you keep this group as a tag team in the tag team division, or do you break them up even further?
No, I feel like you keep him as a tag team division. Andrade is the type of person that you can always see a championship on him, and Angel is still being developed. So why not put him one of the best? Right now, they make such a perfect match. They look really good together because, again, they have like that bad boy Latino type of look going on. So I'm really going for this. I really like it. And there's only one thing that I do want to say. Angel Garza's persona, I would have liked to see it. I know we're going to talk about him later on Humberto Carrillo. George and I used to always talk about this, that's what Humberto needs to be pushed up. That pretty boy look, because I feel like it fits more with him, not with Angel, but I'm still liking this whole tag team.
Let's talk about it now. What is Humberto missing? Because we talk about this all the time in Raw. We're always like, wow, what was Humberto missing? Do you want to see Humberto take off his pants in front of grandmas? Like, what's he doing?
No, I feel like we want...
Yeah, confirmed.
I mean, something like that. I think more of like that bad boy, pretty boy, Latino spice type of look. He has everything. He can wrestle. He always impresses me. But his mic skills as well. I think he needs to work on that mic still. He needs to know how to cut a good promo. If you can't speak English that well, just say it in Spanish. Asuka's speaking in her language all the time, so why not just talk crap in Spanish? It always works. It sounds better anyways. It sounds more tough in Spanish.
Arms akimbo. It sounds better anyway. Jack, tell me is Leslie right? Is these the things that we can pull to make Umberto that like complete project? We were always wondering what was he missing?
He's more the
Here's
pretty
the
boy.
thing. Here's the thing about trying to take the character of Garza and put it on Carrillo is that kind of like being charming like that, you can't fake. You can be told to act that way, but we'll see through it, and it'll be one of those cringy things. Like, could you imagine Humberto Carrillo hitting on Charlie? We'd be like, "What are you doing?" It'd be so awkward.
I still say that, Angel. What are you doing?
But with Angel Garza is smooth. Like, he's able to do it. You can't give that to somebody else, you know. And what Carrillo needs, I don't know. And I think that the WWE is kind of in the same spot because they were giving him a lot. They had him roll through all of Zelina's guys in the gauntlet match, and then he lost 2 hard ones in a row. So I think the WWE is also maybe finding themselves going, cool, you're talented, you're a good-looking guy, but what do we do with you? As far as just to kind of go back to Andrade and Garza, they definitely need to stay a tag team with Zelina. I think that is so entertaining, and it gives them both something to do. I'm a huge tag team fan guy as well. I wanted to say, though, sorry, I'm ranting, I'm going on, but Flobo, we argued about how in the match when Apollo Crews got hurt, he hurt himself. He kind of banged his own knee, got hurt, got taken out, but then he comes charging the ring, attacking Andrade. Andrade literally didn't do anything. It wasn't his fault that Apollo Crews got hurt. So why is Apollo Crews so mad at Andrade?
Hold on, Jack. You mean to tell me you never were outside in public and tripped over a twig and got mad everyone was laughing at you? Ever? Come on, man.
Well, you have to remember, he was going after his championship. That's why he's mad, because he has something that he can't have right now. So I would be pissed too.
It was his own fault, though. What I'm saying is, it takes me back to that match. Andrade should have won that match straight up by taking advantage of the knee, or had done something sneaky to take advantage of the knee. But because the match was just called off and ended, now it looks like Andrade is just like, dude, what are you mad about? I won. Like, you got hurt. You hurt yourself. You should have jumped off the top rope if your knee was hurt. I don't understand. Why am I cheering for a guy who hurt himself and is now taking it out by beating up someone who literally was just there?
Why?
He's talented.
Yeah, he's talented. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes if you face somebody who's that much better or that much faster or that much stable, you just get instantly frustrated. And this is the real reason why a lot of people don't like Charlotte Flair as a character. Like today with against Ruby Riott, right? We all knew that she was going to beat Ruby. At least I thought so. I'm not put words in your mouth. I knew she was going to beat Ruby Riott. But what makes Charlotte Flair so difficult is that she's so OP. You can't roll up Charlotte Flair. You can't make her tap. You can't be stronger than her or faster than her. So if you're someone like Ruby Riott and you lose against Charlotte Flair, I can imagine next week she'll come charging to the ring being upset. Not saying she will. I'm just saying, I get it. I totally get it.
Are you trying to compare Charlotte Flair's overpowered levels to Andrade's the guy who hasn't won a match since Apollo Crews hurt himself?
Don't get me roasted in the chat. What I'm saying is if you're fighting someone who's that much better than you in the ring, I can see you getting mad, being like, I want another shot at the guy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Andrade and Flair. I'm not doing that.
Charging the ring out of nowhere and spear tackling someone and punching them in the face isn't, I want a rematch. You don't
To be fair, KO didn't introduce him. It wasn't out of nowhere. He said, my friend is coming through.
Do you think, I'm a Seahawks fan. The Seahawks lost to the Patriots in a Super Bowl that will forever hurt my heart.
Yeah.
Oh, that was bad.
Yeah, they sucked. They sucked. They were terrible.
I cannot imagine a press conference afterwards, Russell Wilson just spear tackling Tom Brady and beating him up because he lost.
I can imagine Seahawks fans being mad at the Patriots for no reason, though, because they just were that good.
I'm not mad at the Patriots.
You know, all Seahawks fans.
You are.
I love the Patriots.
You sell all the time.
Yeah.
Here, let me give you a good example.
Please, Leslie.
I am a Chargers fan, and we lose a lot. So I'm kind of used to that. So, you know what? We're about to come back. We got new uniforms. What did you got? Nothing. Anyways, I am still mad at the Patriots for taking away my not just that, my shot at the freaking playoffs.
A quarterback. I don't know.
Yeah, we have a new one. Again, I am coming back with a brand new team, just like Apollo's coming back with everything. So don't be a hater just because he's getting a shot at the title already, and you can't be mad about it. He's talented. His time is here. So, like John Cena says, my time is now. You can't see him. His time is now.
Cruz. I just don't get it. I don't get.
You've always hated Apollo Cruz. Cause I remember when I said if I were drafting Apollo to my fantasy team, I would. And you were like, your top hat flew off, your monocle popped out. You were just so upset.
My Cameron Grimes hat popped off.
My Cameron Grimes and monocle popped out. Apollo Cruz is golden. I say this all the time.
Yep.
I like those guys in those WB Frog cartoons. I go, this guy is great. And I look at him and he like jobs. Like, oh. But then as soon as everyone turns around, it's, hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Here's a moonwall splash. And it's like, come on. Apollo with your
Tim. That is such a good analogy, and not enough people are going to get it.
I know. I'm old and I'm bitter. That's what it is. Let's go Texans.
That's okay.
So I mean, we talked about Charlotte just a little bit, but she has a match against Bayley on Friday. I guess now I wanted to ask you about this because we all know it's Charlotte. She do what she wants as far as her rotating in all three brands. I'm not sure now if that counts with the new rules of talent or 4 times a year. A talent does Charlotte already count as one? Does anyone know that? Can anyone simplify that for me and for the new fans out there what this new talent rule looks like?
It's confusing.
On paper, the rule is, from what I understand, is each brand gets 4 times a year they get to send talent to another show. I have a feeling the reality of it is they say that now, and then they get through the empty arenas, and then they go, it's time for a draft, and they just forget it, similar to the old wild card rule. But I think it's just something they made up to justify things.
Thanks, Jack. Appreciate it. Shout out to Dylan Matthews in the chat that says, breaking news, Leslie Colon is the new Chargers head coach. You heard it here first.
Yep. I made that move from San Diego to LA, and I'm still a loyal fan. So
yeah,
it's an upgrade.
Yep.
Wait, what? You just buried your talent, Leslie. Okay, I was like, anyway.
Anyways, Jack.
Anyway, the one person that doesn't like this is the 24/7 champion Tom Brady, apparently. Shout out to R-Truth.
Oh, yeah, that was...
It's like, Tom Brady!
I was so confused. I was like, wait.
I just wanted a clip of like Tom Brady watching on his tablet, going like... But yeah, that was kind of... So let's talk about the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders. Second time in as many weeks. We're going outside the arena for some SNL-type comedy. Basketball was last week. This week we're throwing axes. Before I get off the rails with the cops showing up, which, by the way, wore NYPD shields and they had 10-store badges. I was already out by then. Let's talk about the idea of using outside digital shorts to promote a feud. Leslie, I'm going to start with you. Street Profits, Viking Raiders, throwing axes.
Okay, look. I don't mind it because it's the Street Profits. They have such good talent in and out of the ring. But I'm just like, this segment, I feel like last week's segment, the whole basketball thing, I think was a little bit more cool and realistic. This whole, I get it, they switched from like one culture, you could say, to the other culture since they're Vikings. But it was okay. I wasn't too into it like I was last week with basketball. But hey, the Viking Raiders had to do what they had to do to be Vikings. So it wasn't too exciting, but I wasn't too bored either.
Yeah, I like the idea, but it ran 5 different segments, which I thought was kind of long. Jack, thoughts about the axe throwing?
I agree. It was too long. It was, I mean, it's fun. It's kind of like we were chatting about with old Vince Russo on the chat you and I had with him last week, which you can still check out on Quarantine with the Stars on AfterBuzz TV. Check it out. You will really enjoy yourself. We talked about it. Comedy in wrestling's tough, man. It's very rare that comedy is actually really funny with wrestling. And it feels like with the Street Profits, I think the WWE believes they've got some comedy gold on their hands because they keep pushing these out of the ring things. I don't mind them exploring these things. I'm open to the idea of them trying things out. I don't know if it if this works. But I think a lot of my not liking is the same thing I said last week. I think the Viking Raiders should be serious. I think they should be scary. I think they should be like the Road Warrior. I think they should come in, crush people. If they get an interview, it should be them growling that they're going to kill people, and that's
Growling.
it. I don't think we should get like them being silly with their pals at a Renaissance fair. I think it should be them. I think it should be them just like wrecking people.
So let me challenge you a bit. I understand the Road Warriors what they stood for, but what would be a more modern reference for someone who was a fan after 1995?
You call me old?
Hey, Legion Doom. I don't know. Bob Backlund should be the next WWE champion.
Bob Back. Bruno Sammartino.
Old school.
Have we had why am I struggling on a more recent because now I thought the Steiner brothers, but they're just as old, they're old too. We haven't really had a big bruiser. I guess like the Brothers of Destruction is probably as close as I'm gonna think of. You know, you wouldn't see the Undertaker and Kane out there playing basketball and
he'll cross you up, bro.
right. Though the Undertaker crossing someone up would be fantastic. I would buy a whole pay-per-view just to watch the Undertaker
Your ankles are
cross
mine.
someone up.
But okay, so Leslie, let me ask you this: we saw basketball last week. We saw Axe throwing. If you had to guess what next week will be, because it has to be a blow off. What do you think? What realm do you think we're going to head to?
Since WWE likes to do these very often, maybe a rap battle, since it's more like within the Street Profits, is something they could really pull off. I don't know.
That'd be kind of funny.
You're so right, and I hate that you're right. You're so right.
Yeah,
they always do either a rap battle or a dance battle. So either or. But hey, I wouldn't mind a rap battle with the Street Profits.
Well, they better win, because if they don't, bro, that'd be like you just retire, man. You know?
Yeah, probably. That's my guess. Yep.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't know that. What threw me off also is like they're supposed to be Vikings. I'm not sure if it's real or it's cosplay. It doesn't help to have guys wearing like the masks as well. But I get it though. You can't have everything in the ring. I mean, even the pay-per-views are going outside. We're doing a lot more promos. I was on, like you were saying, Leslie, I was more on board yesterday, but last week, I mean, but not so much this week. But that's all right. We're cool. You know what I am on board with? Shayna Baszler. This chick is bad. Again, I had my grumpy gripes about her character changing from NXT, from going to being the submission magician to being the cage fighter. But she had a submission match against Natalya. Not only did she win, she broke her spirit. Jack Farmer, Natalya is in this Hart Dynasty, and last week she threw a tantrum, and this week she destroyed a perfectly good talk show segment set. What's up?
This is what she's been for a long time. You know, we all love her, but this is kind of what she is. She's a queen maker. She's the person that you go through to become the next big thing. And I think the fact that Baszler is feuding with her is the WWE telling us expect big things from Baszler, because everyone who goes through Natty goes on to a women's title match. It's one of those things where I feel like when I say stuff like that, it sounds like I'm just saying she's a loser and isn't going to win. But I think it's their way of saying, look, she's great. You have a great match with her. You're going on to the next thing. This is the step you take before you go on to being one of the big stars of the division. So I think it's great all around. I think everyone did great. And I think Shayna Baszler I think she's going to be a big deal. She's going to be a big star. I don't think I would interpret what you said as Natalya being a loser. I mean, the queen maker should be that's pretty dope. Leslie, thoughts about the match?
Yeah, that's my biggest frustration. I feel like Natalya has the talent, has helped so many women come up, has trained with so many women so they can get to where they're at now. I don't think it's fair the way they treat her. They just treat her kind of like, oh, I'm just going to put you in here to make her look better, and you're still going to be a legend because you're from the Hart Dynasty, but you're just going to be that. That's not fair, especially to someone who has so much talent. So I hope this tantrum is sort of like a breakthrough for her to, I don't know, maybe get a new character and really come out and be like, hey, I'm the one that taught you girls everything, so respect me. And then maybe she's going to have a change of character and everything could be all good for her. But I feel bad for her because she has everything and they don't treat her like she does.
Yeah, props to Samoa Joe putting it over, being
Yeah.
what do you say in quotes exactly? But like it's like beneath her legacy status. But as a question I would ask you guys both, because you're both lifelong wrestling fans, or at least fans. You watched it for years. Officially, this is outside Natalya, outside WWE. This is a pan wrestling question. Is the sharpshooter the new DDT? Has it been nerfed to the point where people can get out of it? It doesn't really end matches. It's more of a setup maneuver, or is this modern interpretation not being respected as much in WWE ring?
I wouldn't put it there. I get what you're saying.
Either.
It's certainly not as devastating as it used to be when it was, originally, the original Scorpion Deathlock was.
Will you stop?
Look at him.
With that.
No, I'm actually a Bret Hart guy. It's a sharpshooter, but I would say when you look at things like the super kick, who gets used by everybody, and it doesn't put anyone away anymore. It's hard to look at how much that's used and think the sharpshooter is getting overused. But it's definitely not the world beater it used to be.
True.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. And when I can't even compare a DDT to a sharpshooter, because the DDT, I feel like a lot more people use it. The sharpshooter has been used, I feel like, when the opponent normally uses a sharpshooter, kind of like, oh, I can do it too. But no, I definitely don't think it's now at the same level as the DDT. I agree with you, Jack. It was more powerful before, and now it's just kind of like, oh yeah, that's just her move.
Yeah, I just like from recent memory, I remember when The Rock did a sharpshooter, or when Cesaro does one. It's like it's not going to happen. But it was a little fun fantasy wrestling question. I'm not on track.
I'd compare it more to the figure four. I think is probably better, where not everyone really does it, but it's probably not going to win a lot of matches.
Here's my gripe with the figure four, or no, I take it back. Here's my gripe with the figure eight. When Charlotte locks in the figure four, everyone's just mildly inconvenienced. But as soon as she does the bridge, it's now it hurts. It's like what logic? I'm sorry.
No, I'll tell you, there's logic to that, Flobo, and that's that women are just a lot tougher than guys are.
Oh, yeah.
That's what. Yes.
I hit my toe in the end of the bed. I was in bed for 3 days. I couldn't. I postmated my bandages. It was nuts. Let's talk about this Randy Orton Edge feud, which I am so impressed with Randy Orton doing a last man standing match first and making a wrestling match way more important. Jack Farmer, walk me through this. I know Randy Orton's on your top 10. I think either he's on it or right outside of it. Thoughts about this shoot currently?
Definitely top 15. That's the safe way to say it.
Fair,
he hovers in that 10 spot. But I'll say I agree. It's funny, if you put this on paper, it sounds like some weird WWE 2K universe mode shenanigans that you're doing the last man standing first and the regular match second. But Randy Orton, man, this is why he's up there. This is why he's one of the best. Every feud he's involved in feels like it matters. He reminds me, this is also going in reverse. I'm going to compare a legend to a younger guy. He reminds me a lot of a Tommaso Ciampa, where everything he does just feels important. It feels like it matters. It feels like it's the biggest deal on the show he's on. It's just something Randy Orton's always had. I don't know if he's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe it's what.
I saw it coming. I couldn't stop it.
I tried to stop it myself. But yeah, he's one of the best of all time, and I think even the people ahead of him, you're splitting hairs on. He's absolutely one of the best of all time, and I think it's definitely time everyone starts acknowledging that.
Lastly, again, Dylan Matthews in the chat. He goes, Orton versus Edge 2 is too soon. Is he right?
No, I feel like we've been needing something to have us like at the diversity. Like, oh my gosh, when Randy Orton was cutting that promo, I was like, what is happening? But then when Edge cut that promo too, I was like, oh my God, is he right? It was just, this is too good for us to wait on it. I don't know, it just makes me so excited when I watch it, especially because of the things that are said. This career was handed to you. This was your second plan. So those things make it more exciting, especially because you want to know, is it true? Is he going to say anything else about that? But these guys, they're going to kill it. And whether it's just like a wrestling ring and a referee, they don't need all that extra stuff. It's gonna be such a good match, and I love technical matches, so I'm definitely excited for this one.
Can I add into this promo? I believe that more so than anyone else in the WWE right now, Edge and Randy Orton get it without the crowd. I love how they were interrupting each other. They were talking over each other because they didn't have to wait for the whole audience to catch up and respond. And they were just talking and they were just going, because that's the way a conversation would happen if you don't have to wait for the crowd to cheer or boo or chant. The pacing is something that everyone else doing promos right now needs to copy and needs to look at. The fast, rapid fire stuff. I say they should get rid of the microphones. I think they should just have a boom mic, even with the way these are. But I think their pacing, they nailed it. That's how you should do a promo in the ring during this time.
And that's why Randy Orton's one of the best.
Yeah, and I always popped when he interrupts Edge because I'm Team Randy in this one for whatever reason. All right, so I'm just, hey man, I'm a wrestling fan. I can have preferences and choices. Backlash 3 weeks away. It looks like this match is going to be the main event or the WWE title match. What would this have to do to make it one of the greatest matches of all time? Very, very vague question. So let me break this down. For a wrestling match, I know DQ can't be on the table. There has to be a winner. But what would happen to make you go, well, that was a cool moment? Is it a moment of submission? Is it a hard-hitting, brawling kind of matchup? Are we looking for suplexes and toe drags? What are we looking for, Leslie? What's up?
I feel like more of a long match. I can't have like a 5-minute match and then someone winning in 5 seconds or anything like that. I need them to beat each other up till someone, literally kind of like a last man standing match in a way, but just with the ring and a referee. Beat each other up until someone gets pinned by like in their last breath. I don't know, but a long match and a really just brutal fight.
Yeah. I agree. I think what is going to set this one apart, and these two guys are going to be the guys that can do it, and I think they're going to have to sell everything with their faces a lot. I want to see the emotion in their face throughout this entire match. I want to see the grit in Edge's face while he's going through things. I want to see the viper, the anger, the I want to punt kick this guy in the face look on Randy Orton the entire time. I want Edge digging down deep, and I don't want him to just be doing that. I think what's going to set this apart is those camera close-ups on a guy like Edge who is so good at emoting with his face. And that's going to be what sets it apart, is us feeling the emotion through these guys. And I think their facial expressions are going to be the way that they get it done.
Yeah, we're kind of running low on time, but I just have one more question for the both of you. Well, thank you so much for coming on this episode. Can an empty arena match, and not one by on purpose, or one of these matches we're having now, can a match with no fans ever be considered match of the year?
Not counting cinematic.
Right. Yeah. Like an in-ring live match. Or live to tape.
Yeah, because I think it's our new reality, and I feel now that the time has passed by, they've adjusted to this. So the ones that really work hard, like Jack says, to cut those promos, to really work on their facial expressions. Why do we need a crowd if this is entertaining itself? We're the crowd still watching at home. It can easily be a match of the year.
Snap. Well, I want to thank you all for tuning in to Jack.
I was just gonna say, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm gonna be the opponent to that. I disagree. I think we need the crowd.
Of the presses.
If anyone is going to prove me wrong, it's gonna be Randy Orton and Edge. So I am very excited for this match.
You're gonna prove me wrong.
I think anyone who wants to see the answer to that question needs to be tuning in and watching that pay-per-view.
If Backlash happens and Edge is going to the ring and someone beats him up backstage, there's no match, it will be so upsetting to see that Jack promised me match of the year. No, for real, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into this edition of the Monday Night Raw After Show on AfterBuzz TV Wrestling and Sports. We have a slew of programming down the pipe. We're talking about Total Bellas, AEW, NXT, and many, many more under the Quarantine with the Stars banner. Leslie Colon, Professora Colon, can you do the world a favor? Tell the world where they can find you online.
Yes, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Leslie Colon _. Also on the Total Bellas After Show every Friday at 7 p.m. So make sure to tune in and let's talk about some drama and some reality TV.
I like drama. Jack Farmer.
You can find me at jackcfarmer.com as well as at realjackfarmer across all social media. You can also check me out on the AEW Dynamite after show every Wednesday at 8:15 Pacific Standard Time here on AfterBuzz TV. Also, make sure to check out Jack and Flobo Wrestle with Your Questions every Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And do yourself a favor, check out smartbutton.com and also check out the Vince Russo interview we did. It is a banger of an interview.
Yeah, definitely. And this week on Jack and Flo Wrestling Your Questions, we're talking Blockbuster and how. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you so much for being on this edition. My name is Flobo Boyce. You can follow me on Twitter at Flobo Boyce, on Instagram at Flobito, Flobito.com, and 2 ways to support a creative like myself during these times. Buy a t-shirt or a hoodie or mug at Flobito.threadless.com. And of course, the Patreon, patreon.com/Flobo Boyce. But until next time, buzz you later.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.